Hey, what's going on everyone? Kurt Singh here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to try the Great League Remix Cup. And I sort of half kind of stole a team from Purple Kyogre. I happened to see his video and he was running Carbink, Diotri, and um, what's the last one? Pidgeot. And I have the Jirachi, but I used all my rare gems or candies and gave another move and powered up my Carbink to as much as I could. It's 13 something. And then went into my Jirachi and realized that I did not have enough candies to give it a second move. It's powered up, but I couldn't get it a second move to it. So I decided to do a little bit of searching and I found Wormadam. Has similar moves. It has the Bug Buzz instead of I think it's Disarming Voice that the Jirachi uses. So I figured I'd give it a try. I looked at Poke Genie, and as far as weaknesses and stuff, it's only weak to fire. And I haven't really been seeing a lot of fire in this particular meta. Charizard is the one that comes to mind. I'm sure there's a few others. Anyways, I figured I'd give it a try. I did 3 sets with this team, and I went 4-1, 4-1, and 3-2. So all positive. Climbed up to 22 and change. I don't know for sure. I don't remember where I'm sitting currently. But yeah, it worked really well. I'm very impressed with Carbink, how tanky it is for only being in the 1300s. And it actually still hits decent, right, with your rock slides and stuff like that. So anyways, let's get right into some battles here. You can see there that I claimed my rewards, so I'm on to the last page 5 of 5 for the battle thing. So here I fire off an Aerial Ace as well. This first battle, I had forgot to put the right moves on my Pidgeot. It was it had Steel Wing, I think, and Aerial Ace. So I TM both of those after this match. So Wormadam going for the Iron Head against the Toxapex. And I'm kind of learning out Wormadam. I built Wormadam for this particular, to try it here. So go for a Bug Buzz. Good against the Scrafty, takes it out. And then I would Confusion down there and they give up. So that's a good game. Gliscor into Carbink. And look at that. It's just, it puts out a lot of damage and doesn't take very much damage. So take the Psychic Fangs. Then we're going to go for the Moonblast. Gets the shield. And then I switch into my Pidgeot. And I believe that I've put the right moves on as of this match. I do shield up I've got the right ones. Shield up the Thunderbolt. And here I think I call the Psychic Fangs, yeah. So I call that. Farm down. And what do they bring in? They bring in a Sirfetch'd, which really surprised me to bring that into a flyer. So I go for the Feather Dance and then go for the Brave Bird. Bang! One shots the Sirfetch'd. So then they can come in and get some farm, which isn't ideal for me. This could be an Earthquake, but I figured that I would let it go. It is just the Night Slash. And at that point I was like, oh, this is just another Night Slash, but no, they had the Earthquake, but then I brought in Wormadam and they gave up. So I think they knew that that they couldn't win that. So there you got a Pidgeot with Gust, and they switch out into Machamp. So let the first cross chop go. In these battles, a lot of the times that I let stuff go, I was kind of curious just how much damage it would do. So I was kind of testing out to see what hits really hard, what is or isn't going to hurt stuff. I made Pidgeot as well, so I haven't battled with any of these. I think I had an old Wormadam back in the day for a tournament or something, but I don't have it anymore, and so I just made this one for these battles. So throw the Brave Bird there. I've got both shields, which is good for me. They bring in a Politoed. So I bring in my Wormadam. Gonna let this Weather Ball go through. Here's another one. I'm happy with how much damage it puts out, so I'm not worried about shielding. I think I do shield this. No, I let this third one go through as well. I just want to go for the Bug Buzz here. This should take out the Politoed. Doesn't quite take it out, but one more confusion, and that's gone. And then they've got their own Pidgeot in the back still. And I've got Carbink. I feel like I kind of froze there a little bit. I do shield up the Feather Dance. I thought maybe they're going to go for a Brave Bird. Not sure how much it'll do. I'll be on the safe side. Anyways, shield up the Feather Dance, got to a Rock Slide, takes out the Pidgeot. Dusclops into Carbink. So I'm farming up here, trying to decide which move I should go for. Thinking they'll probably shield, so do I go for double Rock Slide or do I go for the Moonblast? Poltergeist actually did a lot more damage than I thought it would. I do go for the Rock Slide and they double shield, so that surprised me. And then they switched out into Bronzong. And I paused for a second here, I'm like, what do I use against that? And then I was like, oh, Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz will work good against that. So I'll bring in my Wormadam. I take the Bulldoze there. Fire off my Bug Buzz. It does a decent chunk, not like it doesn't one-shot it or anything, but it does enough to threaten it. So shield up that Bulldoze, and now I'm just going to go for an Iron Head here. I feel like that with one more confusion or just that itself will be good. And they've got a Talonflame in the back. So I feel like I completely misplayed this because I let the Brave Bird go and then they switch back into the Dusclops. Now I'm locked in, but I can't farm down. So I have to use my energy to take that out, and then they bring in the Talonflame. See, had I shielded the Brave Bird, I would have won that game. And that would have been a 5-0 set. But good game to my opponent. I did go 4-1, like I said. And you can see there I jumped up to 2167, it looks like. Carbink into Mantine. Take the Bubble Beam. It is super effective, but it doesn't do a ton of damage. Go for a Rock Slide. They shield that up. They add another Bubble Beam. I'm just going to let this go through. I'm not going to shield something like that, at least at this point in the game. I don't want to waste my shields when I'm only losing a little teeny tiny bit of health. So I switch into my Pidgeot. They bring in Quagsire. Go for a Feather Dance. They no shield that. And I think, I let this go. So again, I was like, I know they're going to Stone Edge, but I want to see how much it does after being debuffed, right? So then I go for a Brave Bird, takes them out. They let that go through. So they bring in the Mantine, go for a Bubble Buzz. What is it? Bubble something. Anyways. Meganium comes in, and I bring in my Wormadam, and the confusions are chunking quite well. I do shield up the first Frenzy Plant, thinking it might be an Earthquake. They save that Earthquake for the next one, but you can see there easily can handle an Earthquake, maybe even two. Throw the... actually, I think I just farmed down there. Now I throw the Iron Head at the Mantine. What do they throw? Bubble Beam, not Bubble Buzz. Okay, Bubble Beam. Bring in my Carbink and farm down. This team, like I said, really, really good. Purple Kyogre is running, I think 3 days in a row now. He's done this team, but with Jirachi. And so, like I say, messed up with candies, didn't have enough rare candies. Wormadam, surprisingly, really, really good. And like I say, its only weakness, like literally, its only weakness is fire. And it resists and double resists a huge amount of the field right now. So, highly recommend. I know everybody is after the Carbink and other Pokemon that counter that and stuff like that. Wormadam is very surprisingly very good. Not surprisingly, I've battled it in different tournaments and stuff, and it's always strong. Scrafty comes in, gonna eat a Bug Buzz here. Does about half health to a full Scrafty. So they're gonna fire off here. I have no more shields, just a power up punch. Carbink comes in. Oh, this battle is so that's their second power up punch, and they still have a shield. So I have to get to 2 moves to stand a chance, to make it worth throwing. So I just farm down. So that was pretty good. Rock throw down on the Scrafty with three power up punches. I think they boosted 3 times. So Carbink into Gardevoir, and we're both doing quite a bit of damage to each other. So I decided to switch out into my Wormadam. They answer with Quagsquire, and I let the first Mud Bomb go through. I'm going to throw with the Bug Buzz here, try to do a big chunk right off the hop. They do let it go, so that works out well for me. And I do shield up this Mud Bomb, and then Confusion down. So now we're even on shields. I do sort of have the advantage with the Pokemon that are left. They bring in Charizard. So at this point, I'm just not shielding. If they want to Blast Burn me, go for it. But I said to myself, I bet they Dragon Claw me trying to get my shield. So I let it go, and as you can see there, it does a fraction of what health I had left. Bring in the Carbink. And I believe I let this Blast Burn go through. It doesn't take me out. So then I bring in Pidgeot. And I'm able to farm down. So that's a good game there. Well played to my opponent. Tricky with the Charizard there. Next match, got Charizard lead. They switch into Cradily. I answer with my Wormadam. Took me a little bit to decide what to come into. Shield up the second Rock Slide that was, I believe. Go for an Iron Head. And Iron Head should be super effective, so it takes out the Cradily. They have another Charizard. So I'm going to, again, no shield this. I decided if they're going to Blast Burn, fine. If not, I'm going to easily live. So they do just Dragon Claw again. So I'm able to get to the Iron Head. And the Confusions are tearing through the Charizard there. So now they bring in the Innovan Stunfisk. And I was like, oh man, this is going to be really hard to try to win this. Because I got Pidgeot, which will take Super Effective from discharges. And the Mud Bombs are super effective against the Carbink. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to manage to win this one. They still have a shield as well. So, really, really, really tricky. I do get their last shield, and then they switch into their Charizard. Blast Burn me, which does massive damage. And then they're able to Dragon Claw, take out my Pidgeot. Now that's what it was, yeah. They overfarmed, so I knew that they had back-to-backs. So I was like, I need to move on my Carbink, and I just wasn't there. Didn't have enough energy. Really well played to my opponent. I kind of noticed, this is the second set. Like I said, I went 4-1, 4-1, and then 3-2. I kind of noticed near the middle of this set that the competition was getting stiffer, right? Like people were counting sharper and making those switches in and out faster and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's sets. So Wormadam and Greedent. Gonna shield up this Crunch. And I tried to Confusion down. They get to another move. I think it's just a Body Slam, and I do live that, even though I'm debuffed. So they bring in a Pidgeot. I'm gonna go for the Bug Buzz. They do block that, and I don't get the defense drops. That's unfortunate. But I'm able to bring in the Carbink, and I'm going to no shield whatever this is, Brave Bird. So they're really good to know. Brave Bird doesn't even do half health. It did like a quarter, maybe a little bit more. So they bring in double. I do decide to let it go, thinking it might be the wild charge, but I had looked at the recommended move sets and it's body slam payback. So I did let it go. It was the payback. I do face another one later in the day, and it did have wild charge. So I think personally, I think wild charge is probably still your best bet because you're going to be able to hit any of the flyers and water for super effective damage compared to the payback. But I guess if you've got things like Bronzong and stuff like that running around, payback would be really good. So that's the second set, and there's my reward. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for tuning in. As always, please leave a like or subscribe. See you guys in the next video. Thanks.